Hello and welcome to another episode of Killer Ant Reviews. Today we are actually going to be talking about John Christopher's No Blade of Grass. So basically, this is one of the few novels that actually was turned into a movie. I've never seen the movie at all, but from what I heard, it's not that good. So let's just say the cover definitely has that old vintage kind of vibe to it. I love the fact that the blades of grass are riding away and it shows a couple of the characters. And this is definitely a pretty old story. What was it? Yeah, 1956. So this is basically about a really old story. And overall, I definitely have some conflicting or mixed feelings about this book. The whole plotline is a virus comes out and eliminates like all like the grain, the rice, like a lot of these things that are made of staple foods, and it basically causes a chain reaction and basically gets worldwide starvation, which soon moves to anarchy. And it basically just shows like a group of people just trying, like a group of people just trying to survive and go through the UK, trying to get to basically a friend's house or family member's house. What I didn't really like about this book is in the first couple chapters there were blatant racism from the main characters, and I know this was made back then, but it definitely put me off on liking these characters at all when they use a certain racial slur towards the Asian community, especially nowadays. I really didn't appreciate that, and it gave me a very it made me just not like any of the characters. That's the biggest problem, is the characters themselves. I ended up actually hating them with a passion, because that's not the only thing that they did. This one guy's brother, the guy basically killed his wife and then tried to have relations with a teenager who they shot and killed her parents. Yeah. And they basically try to make up excuses on why they should keep him. It's like, no, I hated that. And also some of the characters also were pretty much stupid. Like, hey, look, there's a dangerous situation. Let's go up there with no guns. Oh, yeah, now this bad thing happened to my wife. And another thing is they get robbed without really putting up any kind of a fight, and they seem to be understanding about it. It's like, no, they feel stupid. I mean, I know this is like a classic book, but I'm just looking at it of what I think. And I think it's definitely that times have definitely changed, but it definitely had a lot of, the characters definitely weren't that good. And also, it seemed the guys of the group are a little bit misogynistic, because they seem to be always like, oh, we don't care about my wife or her sister, or we don't really care about any of them. They had like misogynistic views that they needed the guys, and they didn't really value their opinions either. Like I said, this was made in the 1950s. It may have just been by the times, but I'm definitely coming in with this with an opinion nowadays. This book definitely, it did not go well with the times. And with that said, what I do like is I love the fact that it brings like a apocalyptic disaster where not only do you not have like any of the staple foods like wheat, grain, rice, it also causes a chain reaction where the animals don't have anything to eat because all the grass is dead. So not only do you not can't have like the staple foods, you also can't have meat. And they also explain like how the virus mutates too. At first it was just killing the rice, and when they actually made a counter for the virus, it mutates over and over again So even though they killed off the old virus, the new ones are still running rampant, which I thought was actually a pretty cool idea. Some of the writing itself is pretty good. It kept me interested in the entire story. The ending was definitely a little bittersweet, but I'm not going to get into that. But it was also pretty short as well. It's only like 180 pages, so that's actually pretty short for a book like this. Like I said, I haven't really seen the movie. I've seen a few scenes on YouTube just so I can get an idea, and it's definitely nothing. It's kind of follows the book, but also kind of doesn't. Apparently, there's also some very controversial scenes, which I'm glad those scenes are lost today. Let's put it that way. I definitely don't think I'm going to read this book ever again. It's just there's just a lot of things I really wasn't happy with about it. It's also probably the hardest one to grade too, because part of me liked the plot, but part of me absolutely despised the characters. And I get a lot of people say this is a classic book, and I can see it, but it did not age well at all. Yeah, I read this. I finished this definitely well over a week ago, and I'm still trying to figure out whether to grade it or not, because it is definitely so out of date and behind the times. Like I said, the racial slurs in the beginning towards the Asians really did not help a good first impression. I guess if I do have to give it a grade, I'll definitely give it a 5. And that might be a little controversial because I know how, looking this up, a lot of people definitely love this book, especially when it first came out, especially when it was actually turned into a movie. And if there is, this is definitely a book that, if there's like any kind of time fall that says like, yeah, a book's definitely behind the time, this would be it. Yeah, this is definitely the toughest book I've ever had to review. I've been thinking about like, okay, what can I do to review it? What do I have to do? And like I said, it's definitely very controversial. So until next time, this is Killer Ant. If you definitely enjoy these reviews, I know they're kind of cheap. I'm just using lighting in my room. I'm hoping at some point I can get like some stuff to improve the lighting. I just don't have like the time or space right now. But if you do enjoy these reviews, definitely leave a comment if you read this book, or even subscribe if you want to see more reviews. Until next time, this is Killer Ant.